What is up, you sexy YouTube mother lovers, and welcome back to another episode of my favorite, it's Cursed Gun Images. We're doing Cursed Gun Images today. If you're new here, Cursed Gun Images is where you guys just take all of the random shit you find on the internet and send it to me. Whether that be stupid guns, guns that have been bubbled into the ground, or guns that just need to be put out of their misery and taken off this planet. Or sometimes guns that are just so bad they deserve their own category by themselves. Preferably off the planet. Anyhow, I got a whole new batch of submissions, so let's go over them together. Starting off, we have what I think might be our first submission of cursed ammo images. So without further ado, let's start the way I always do, with just the tip. That is a dick. I guess you could say these bad boys were designed for maximum penetration. When it comes to customer satisfaction, these things are hard to beat. I've got a couple more. In all seriousness though, I think these are a joke. I don't think this is a real product considering the packaging itself says 9mm parabel end. UK slang for a dick. It's the tip of your dick. Oh, you cheeky Brits. Never thought I'd see a type of ammunition where part of the reloading process is circumcision. 9mm parabel end when you're trying to prove that you're not shooting blanks. All right, I am now done. Okay, no, I'm not. One more. This brings a whole new meaning to cocking your gun. All right, I'm done. All right, next up, we've got whatever this is. This man is the fucking president of Carry Handle Gang. Looks like we actually have a 3D printed lower as well. So it's a 3D printed AR lower and a 3D printed just long boy carry handle. It looks like he kind of married the G36 style like carry handle integral optic thing with like a long FAMAS kind of thing going on. Also 3D printed, but still spanning the entire upper. This man will carry the shit out of this gun. Shit, you could fit like 4 hands on that carry handle, make it like a fucking team exercise. Ian is not happy with what you are doing to the imagery of the FAMAS. There will be consequences. Moving on, this one actually clearly sent to me by a Russian fan. Here we have a Russian meme of me, looking at an AK that has got a lot going on. Got one of those hexagon tactical hand guards, those are pretty neat, honestly. But it looks like they've done like a replica VSS stock on the back. And judging by the magazine and the rounds that are just floating around the photo, it looks like it's chambered 9x39. Mom, can we have VSS? No, sweetie, we have VSS at home. Now, if you're curious what the text says, so was I, so I put it through Google Translate. I doubt this is correct, but Google Translate said, I can't decide if it's a gun or not a gun. Doesn't quite seem right, so if there's any native Russian speakers that would like to correct that in the comments, please let me know, because I'm kind of curious. Either way, not terrible execution on this one. We actually did our own version of an AK in 9x39 a while back. Although if this is really a 9x39, I'm curious why they went with such a long barrel. 9x39 is a slow boy, you don't need a lot. Shorter, mo better. No babe, I prefer the SBR, the big ones hurt me. Now jumping over from Russia back to the UK for a moment. Of course, as you have all heard, Queen Elizabeth II has passed. Not a real big fan of any royal family, but definitely not the ones that have connections to Jeffrey Epstein. You know, it's the little things. But we do have this photo of the Queen shooting the famous and kind of infamous L85. Which, you know, hey, based. L85, of course, having a lot of its own problems and being somewhat of a cursed gun image in itself. So hopefully with the passing of the torch, the new generation of royal guards will be able to carry something that doesn't suck. A man can dream. Unless she redeploys after beating Princess Diana in the Gulag. Now, there have been a lot of stupid politicians that have been saying for a while that the Second Amendment in the US only applies to muskets and not any sort of modern firepower. It seems that a few of you guys have been preparing for that interpretation and making some upgrades. Here we have the tactical musket. Here we have what appears to be a tactical L-can held on by only the finest of industrial strength zip ties. And up front, a PEC 15 IR unit. Because you never know when you have to slot redcoats in the dark. Now, if you recall, at the end of the last Cursed Gun Images video, we teased what I called the most cursed AK I had ever seen. What the fuck is that? I actually saw that gun online, bought it, and proceeded to do an entire video talking about how bad it was. It's not great. Truly, to this day, I still think probably the most cursed AK build I have ever seen. But I said we might do a video fixing it, bringing this bad boy up to her former glory as a beautiful Yugo AK. And as always, I'm a man of my word. So if this Cursed Gun Images video gets 100,000 likes, we will do a video taking this bad boy, tearing it completely down, back to the basic parts kit, and rebuilding it as a beautiful gun that it's capable of being. And not a safety hazard to whoever's holding it. So here we have a submission of what looks like a model, you know, from back in the day, holding a wacky pistol. Looks like some sort of weird fucking toy gun, right? No way that that thing is actually real. Or is it? As it turns out, this is actually from James Bond. And that pistol, while it looks like a, you know, kid's toy made out of bent sheet metal, is actually a very exotic and rare firearm known as the Gyro Jet. It was an experimental weapon in the 60s, basically getting rid of cased ammunition, instead using rocket-propelled projectiles. This is the world's smallest rocket launcher. And I'm not gonna lie, they're pretty fucking neat. Maybe even something that we should do for the channel. You know what, I'm gonna double up. I'm gonna double up on the like goal. If you guys get us to 100,000 likes on this video, I'll hunt down a Gyro Jet. Can't be that hard, right? Right? So yeah, if you wanna see one of these bad boys fire, I recommend you go ahead and subscribe. If you're enjoying Cursed Gun Images, we do this every now and again. We also do series like Darwin Awards and of course Gun Meme Review. We also do some cool range videos, including, hopefully coming up, a Gyro Jet. So if you want to be part of the AKG cult, AKG Nation, go ahead and subscribe. God, I want a Gyro Jet now. Now I know this is Cursed Gun Images and not Gun Meme Review, but this one's kind of a meme, but it also has a cursed gun image in it, so yeah, it works. When you tell her you're gonna destroy that ass and she just laughs. When I said I was looking for a plug for hand grenades, that is not what I had in mind. This brings high-impact sexual violence to a whole new level. And if you're too young to get this joke, God bless you, stay innocent. As long as you can. Now I've got some unconventional improvised shit and some cursed pistols coming up. But if you're looking for weapons of the non-cursed variety, usually, and you live in the United States and you're of age, I would recommend checking out Arms List. I actually remember using Arms List all the time when I was first getting into guns. It's a great way to see deals from local dealers and or meet up with private persons for buying and selling if that's legal in your area. They're an awesome sponsor of the channel. We obviously can't link them on a YouTube video, but you can go check them out at Arms List. We appreciate their support. Now back to some cursed shit. So up next we have a photo that is apparently from a gun buyback. I present to you the Pipe Gun P90, also known as the Pipe 90. Probably. It's always funny seeing the shit that people build to turn in at gun buybacks. Shit that's technically a firearm, but costs like 80 bucks to build to get a $200 Walmart gift card or whatever the fuck they're giving out. Draining the pockets of anti-gun activists one 3D print at a time. This is actually a pretty common OG design for a pipe shotgun. It's a slam fire, so if you see that little rod hanging out the bottom, what you do is you, it's two pipes inside of each other, and you push that back, you slam it back, because the shotgun shell is sitting in the first, there's a firing pin at the very, very back of the tube. So by slamming it rearward, you're firing the shotgun shell. Now, a word of advice when it comes to building improvised homemade pipe guns at home. Maybe like fucking don't. So this next one is from Brazil. Police confiscated what looks to be somehow a cruder looty than the looty.
Oh my god, that's awesome!
Kind of impressive though. What's weird is that doesn't even look like a detachable magazine. It looks like it's just part of the gun. Maybe it's just top fed. And also the octagonal barrel that just looks like a nut at the end, like a brass nut. Just goes to show when you can't buy weapons, people will improvise, adapt, and overcome. And then get it confiscated and then end up on Cursed Gun Images. Now this guy over here has got the caulk gun from hell. The very, very tactical blue camouflage really helps out. I don't actually know where this photo is from, but what is killing me is the contrast. You got a super crude tube gun that you probably wouldn't even pick up if you were playing Fallout in one hand. And then his modern tactical pouches and shit over in front of his belt. Yeah, I love how he camouflages his pouches. Meanwhile, his gun. Next for improvised, we've got, well, this. The Tactical Artillery Shell, complete with bipod and ACOG, and a hammer and screwdriver to, you know, set her off. You know, typically in the Middle East when they were building IEDs out of old artillery shells, it didn't require manual operation of the actual, you know, detonating. That's why they were using cell phones and wires and shit. This IED here appears to be all manual. I guess they just draw straws for whoever has to be the one to set it off.
They expect one of us in the wreckage, brother.
So now on to pistols, I present to you the most tactical Glock of all time. As if the stock foregrip and laser weren't enough, we also have a member of Carry Handle Gang. Not sure why we have a carry handle on this one, considering there's no front sight on that gun for the carry handle sight to be useful, but that's okay. I have a feeling he's not going to be using sights anyway. That's what the laser's for. I was laughing thinking like, you know what? this person probably doesn't have a tax stamp to make this an SBR, considering there's obviously a stock and a foregrip on it. Then I thought, well, the vertical foregrip isn't exactly vertical, is it? It's at an angle, so I wonder if that skirts the law. And then I realized SBR shit doesn't fucking matter at all, because this thing has a fucking auto steer. Got the little switch on the side of the slide that makes it a happy Glock. Yeah, so this is either a legit Glock 18 or this is some cringe airsoft LARP. I'm probably going for the latter, but who knows? It's a crazy world. Now, I'm not a big fan of pocket carry. You know, the people who like carry those like really tiny, like 22 revolvers in their pocket on the day-to-day. I'll get into why I don't like it, probably in this next episode of the Darwin Awards, frankly. But the only advantage that it would have is that it's super tiny, super easy to conceal in your pocket, and you can just carry it on the day-to-day. Well, this guy said, fuck that. I want all the power of a tiny pocket-sized 22 and the concealability of a fucking AR lower. Your wish is his command. Now this next one is when you realize that Colt makes both AR-15s and revolvers. Voila! It's hideous. I'm actually trying to think whether or not this is California legal. Does this count as featureless? When you have to have your Marty Robbins big iron at 6, but Black Hawk Down LARP at 7. Considering that long sight radius you now get on this revolver with those old M4 sights, the nice C-clamp you can get on that handguard, and the stability of the stock, this thing is the perfect killing machine. I think the only thing that could make this thing more deadly is some dick bullets. Well, that closes up this episode of Cursed Gun Images. What was your favorite / least favorite in this episode? Let me know down in the comments. And again, you can always submit your Cursed Gun Images suggestions over on the subreddit or via Smoke Signal. Anyhow, I appreciate you guys watching all the way to the end, and as always, I'll see you sexy YouTube mother lovers in the next video. Thanks. I don't have my fucking knots. Damn it!